World Bank warns Nigeria's economy may go into severe recession, just as IMF projects contraction of the economy to minus 5.4%. Manufacturing PMI stands at 41.1% in June 2020, plus oil prices crawl up on demand recovery. This is Business Express on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, and we're reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital. I am Muplang Dakok. So good to have you join us again on Business Express. The World Bank says collapse in oil prices coupled with the COVID-19 pandemic may plunge the Nigerian economy into a severe economic recession, its worst since the 1980s. The World Bank, which stated this in Abuja as part of its latest Nigerian development update, estimated that the country's economy would likely contract by 3.2% in 2020. The bank said the projection assumed that the spread of COVID-19 in Nigeria would be contained by the third quarter of 2020, but warns that if the spread of the virus became more severe over the period, the economy could contract further, adding that before COVID-19, the Nigerian economy was projected to grow by 2.1% in 2020, an indication that the pandemic had led to a reduction in growth by more than 5%. The projection further indicates that macroeconomic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic will likely be significant even if Nigeria manages to contain the spread of the virus. Similarly, as the effects of the lockdown over COVID-19 pandemic continue to inflict unpleasant consequences on economic activities, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) has projected a further contraction in the global economy by minus 4.9%, and for Nigeria, minus 5.4%. The IMF also expressed concerns about recovery uncertainty. The downward review in IMF's latest World Economic Outlook report indicates slow economic recovery, with Nigeria dropping from a negative growth of minus 3.4% in April to a negative minus 5.4% for June. In other news on the economy, the Federal Executive Council has approved 2.3 trillion naira stimulus package to support the Nigerian economy in the face of the disruptions and challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, said the package is part of the Nigerian Economic Sustainability Plan (NESP) as recommended by the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo's committee. The goal of the NESP, she says, is to create jobs, put money into the economy, as well as stop the economy from slipping into recession, support small businesses, and prioritize local content.
This whole plan is to enable us respond to the triple problem of low exchange rate, huge unemployment, as well as negative growth, which is facing us now. And the interventions that are outlined in the plan was to ensure that we prevent businesses from collapsing and also to infuse liquidity within the Nigerian economy. It's also to create jobs using labor-intensive methods such as agriculture, facility management, housing construction, direct labor interventions that will create a lot of jobs very, very quickly. We also have proposed and in the plan to undertake growth-enhancing jobs using creative infrastructure investments in roads, bridges, solar power, communications technology, and several others.
To speak further on the economic benefits of the approved 2.3 trillion naira package to stimulate economic growth and the economic implications of the latest World Bank report, I am now being joined via Skype by an economist, Paul Alaje. Hello, Mr. Alaje. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you so very much for having me, and good afternoon.
All right. So let's go straight to our discussion. The Federal Executive Council on Wednesday approved 2.3 trillion naira sustainability package recommended by the Economic Sustainability Committee to revamp the economy. How do you see this move?
Well, it shows that there seems to be convergence now, because if you see what Monetary Authority have been doing, have had the energy to push funding to the economy in form of loans, low interest loans.
All right. And the goals of the National Economic Sustainability Plan is to create jobs, to put money into the economy and stop the economy from slipping into a recession. How apt do you see this coming, the plan? Alaje, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right. I said, how do you see, how apt rather do you see the plan coming at this time to revamp the economy?
I think it's good that we have. Yes, I think it's good that we're having the plan. If it had come much earlier, it would have been better. But now that it's coming, it's not too late. We just now need to disburse it as soon as possible, particularly those parts that has to do with capital investment in infrastructure, investment on road, power, and particularly those that support business.
But the Minister of Finance, if you can hear me, Zainab Ahmed, said 1.2 trillion of the amount is going to be sourced from soft loans. While many people see it as a welcome development, other strategists and economists are saying that we've taken too many such loans. What is your thought about that?
The fact is that Nigeria have less in terms of revenue. When you see what NNPC reported for the month of March before the lockdown, it's also negative of about 900 billion. So if you say we are having to sort it at this point, but the use of loan will be for infrastructure and support of business, I support it, because what we need to do stay long in the recession. Are we going to go into a recession? It is certain. But instead of you having an L-shaped recession or a U-shaped recession, wherever we might get the money from, so that we don't stay in recession, we can have a V-shaped recession. That is what we should all support. So if government is bringing this now and wants to support business, wants to support infrastructure and business environment, I think it will be the right thing to do, and I will support it 100%.
Okay, the federal government is saying it will cut down on capital spending. For example, the purchase of luxury vehicles. What do you think of that decision?
Well, I don't think government should cut down on capital spendings. I think government should cut down on administrative capital spendings. There is difference between core capital spending and administrative capital spending. Spending on luxury is not capital itself. It is administrative. It makes you function to use capital. So, but when you're talking of power, infrastructure, roads, education, and you're talking of health, I think government should invest more rather than reducing from those. But when it comes to spending on exchange of laptop that was bought last year, we want to renew, or change of cars, particularly for those in government, I think this time it will not be the right thing to do. Also, what government should shed weight in terms of government can give private sector form public-private partnership to do rather than carrying unnecessary burden during this pandemic.
All right, Mr. Alaje, it seems you can't hear me very well. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on Business Express today. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll look at MSMEs in the face of COVID-19 as the DG Smedan Umarudi Korada joins us to focus on MSMEs in the face of COVID-19.
Let me assure Nigerians that all COVID-19 intervention funds are safe in the Treasury single account, and that government is still open to donations in this regard. Government has opened special accounts with 5 commercial banks which are directly linked to the Treasury single account. Donated funds are safe in the Central Bank of Nigeria. For verifiable information about the funds and other financial obligations of the federal government, please contact us directly at the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. The account details for the donations are as follows.
It's a pleasure having you on Business Express once more.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. So I would say micro, small and medium enterprises are one of the worst hit by the ravaging COVID-19. How really badly hit is the sector?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I think COVID-19 has really given challenge to MSME space all over the world, not particularly in Nigeria. But in Nigeria, the situation become a different scenario entirely because majority of the MSMEs in Nigeria are micro. Okay. And being micro in nature, they are very small and down at the pyramid, very low at the pyramid. And I think because of that, most of their businesses stopped. Some of them have died, and some of them were not able to cope up with the situation. In situation like this, some of them had to survive on the reserve they have, on the savings they made in the course of doing their businesses. So I think it's a very, very unfortunate situation, and we are really trying hard to see how we can cope and how we can get out of it. But unfortunately, I think because of the brilliant ideas of Nigerian businessmen, we are able to survive and doing a little bit of those kind of businesses because most of the macro businesses are household businesses.
But how really important or how relevant are small and medium-scale enterprises, especially the micro ones, because they contribute at least 90% of businesses in Nigeria, and they make up to about 70% of, they create up to 70% of jobs. So how relevant are they?
If you could remember, we had a recession around 2016, 2017, and I think Nigeria was quick to get out of recession, simply because of the fact that majority of the businesses in this country are macro, and the macro businesses were able to rejuvenate the economy as quick as possible. And that was the main reason why attention has to be given to this. And if you look at the global economy in general, you see that macro and small and medium businesses in any country of the world, they are the engine room for growth of that economy. That is why you see that immediately we had the first case of COVID-19 in Nigeria, not more than 2 weeks after, CBN came up with a palliative, which we call COVID-19 palliative, 50 billion for MSME, simply because we have recognized the fact that we have to support MSME if we want our economy to survive.
Okay. You talked about part of the intervention. Can you tell us about the other interventions by the federal government to support the micro, small and medium enterprises?
Initially when this thing started, what the government did was to try to create a moratorium on all the federal government loans. We have trader money, we have market money, we have farmers' money, which was all rolled out by the federal government. And the part of the thing they did was to give moratorium to those kind of loans so that it will enable the MSME to recoup from the sovereign and then be able to repay later. So a moratorium was extended, and other moratorium was also extended on other federal government loans, including the one that was given by SMEDAN.
You know, the MSMEs, they say, are like Oliver Twist. They always want more. What do you see federal government doing and your agency doing post COVID-19 for MSMEs?
I think all the efforts and the intervention by the federal government is centered on small and macro businesses. And then we have to have an intervention which will cater for the macro businesses. Macro, they are at the down of the pyramid. And these are the people who cannot even access those kind of loans that are being rolled out by the banks. I think there should be a very strategic approach on how to how to support the macro businesses. And the part of the support I'm suggesting to macro businesses in Nigeria, which constitute about 40 million of Nigerians, is providing grant to those kind of businesses, because these are businesses which one they have a capital of 20, 30, 40, 50,000. It will make a great impact to those kind of businesses. And these are the kind of businesses that keeps on the space so that the MSME can survive it, first of all, and the economy will grow, and there will be a creation of jobs within our local communities.
Okay. The World Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Day, World MSME Day, is coming up on the 27th of this month of June. It is a yearly event. Can you tell us more about the day and what your agency is doing to, propagate micro, small and medium enterprises in the country?
You know, the MSME Day, 27th of every June in each year, it was declared by the United Nations. And this is the United Nations MSME Day. And Nigeria key into this MSME celebration all over the world from the year 2018. We celebrated 2018, 2019. And part of the celebrations, what we normally do is we stage a road walk all over our offices, all the 36 states of the Federation, so that we can create awareness and try to also make the MSME understand the effort the government is making to make them survive. And we are doing that in conjunction with UNIDO, our parent ministry, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, so that we can try to enlighten and create awareness and make the MSME to be aware of our programs and projects so that they can key in. But this year's 2020 is a different scenario because of the COVID-19.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the date fall on Saturday. Because of allowing other stakeholders to participate, we shifted the celebration to the 30th of June so that we can create an environment whereby other stakeholders can participate actively, and we are going to do it through a virtual engagement contribution.
Okay, but if you're expecting to, if your target is the micro, small and medium enterprises and it's going to be virtual, how do they know about it? How do they participate?
In fact, we are doing a lot of advocacy. If you listen to radio stations, we are doing jingles to sensitize people that this thing is coming up, and we are giving them the link so that they can be able to link up with us on that day. And we are expecting to have over 1,000 people within the platform. And we give opportunity to people to express their view, and even people in the local areas. You see them using mobile telephone, using a telephone with Android and all these applications. They are all in the social media. So I think it's a platform that will give opportunity for MSME to express their view, challenges, and then the solutions. I want them to take advantage of all the palliatives that are rolled out by the federal government to them. This money is meant for them. It's meant for them to benefit, and they should utilize those money as for the benefit of the development of their businesses.
Okay. Thank you very much, Director General of Smith and Umaru Korada. We've been speaking to him about micro, small and medium enterprises development in Nigeria. The dollar held firm on Friday as caution over rapid rises in U.S. coronavirus cases cast doubt over the reopening of the economy. And talking stocks, trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange closed positive this Friday as the NSE All Share Index advanced by 0.83%. Investors exchanged $127.2 million shares valued at 2.1 billion naira in 2,844 deals, while market capitalization rose to 12.9 trillion naira, although still below the 13 trillion naira benchmark that traded last week. Guarantee, ICO Insurance PLC, FBN Holdings were the top trades for the day, while Airtel Africa, Nestle, EcoBank led the top gainers, while Dangote Cement, Fitson, and Flour Mill lost the most. Stocks in Asia Pacific rose on Friday as the coronavirus situation stateside continued to be monitored by investors. Over to Bosede Ebo.
European markets advanced despite surging coronavirus cases in the US and further warnings about a second market meltdown from the International Monetary Fund (IMF). Stocks in Asia mostly rose as the coronavirus situation stateside continued to be monitored by investors. Nikkei rose 1.13% to close at 22,512.08. Shanghai Composite 0.30% at 2,979.55, while the Hang Seng Index rebounded the overall trend regionally as it slipped 0.93% as of its final hour of trading. U.S. stock futures held steady before the opening bell following the release of the Federal Reserve's latest bank stress test results and unsatisfactory quarterly numbers out of Nike. The Reds dominated most African stocks except the South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40, posting gains of 0.41%.
This is where we end this episode of the program. Don't forget you can access all previous episodes on YouTube and you can communicate with us on Twitter. The handle is at NTA News Now and the hashtag is BizX. We value your feedback, so join us again on Monday next week for another package. And as we continue to fight against the COVID-19, remember to keep social distance while outside and also wash your hands with soap under running water. I am Muplang Dakok.